Yo, what's up guys, my name's Hakiii and in this video we have the 10 best vehicles in GTA Online, the definition of overpowered vehicles and incredibly fast vehicles and everything like that. Thanks to this comment I'm making this video, so if you want to possibly have your video idea featured, comment it down below. Anyway, let's get started with the first vehicle that is an absolute machine. This is the weaponized Ignis. The one and only actual special thing about it is just the super powerful minigun slash machine gun on the top of it. Let me show you guys how powerful this is by pressing LB or L1 on PlayStation. So I'm gonna start shooting any street vehicle and within a matter of seconds we have blown it up. So let's try it with another vehicle. It's actually ridiculously powerful, and any unarmored vehicle, it's gonna be able to blow it up within a matter of like 3 seconds. It's really rare to see such a good weapon like this on such a fast supercar. This performs amazingly, it's got some great traction, good speed, and I feel like the combination of a really good supercar with such a good weapon like this one is actually really overpowered. Driving around in free roam, you definitely want to have some sort of weaponized vehicle, but you also want to be relatively fast and be able to go around the map quickly. So the weaponized Ignis is amazing, especially for free roam, and definitely one of the best vehicles in the game, hands down. Look at all these cop cars that are just blowing up one by one. This is actually ridiculous. Look how many cop cars I blew up back to back to back. Just from this gameplay, you can see how good this vehicle really is. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Luckily, we already have the cops on us, so let's quickly call in the next vehicle. That's going to be through the MC President menu, and that's going to be the Oppressor Mark II, one of the best grinding vehicles in the game along with PvP. It did actually get nerfed like once or twice. It used to cost just under $4 million, but Rockstar raised the price of it to $8 million, so that itself tells you how much this vehicle is actually worth. It's not the biggest bike or anything, but it's super convenient to go around and do missions with it. Definitely the most comfortable air vehicle you can get because you can easily stop and then just go inside tunnels, and the fact it's much smaller than most air vehicles in the game is definitely an advantage. It does have only 20 missiles, so a bit of a limited amount compared to some other vehicles, because for example the weaponized Ignis has unlimited ammo, but as I said, Rockstar had to find multiple ways to nerf this thing, whether it's the price of it or the missile tracking or the amount of missiles you can hold. But despite all that, this is still considered one of the biggest go-to vehicles for GTA Online players nowadays. So many different types of missions like security contracts or just any free roam mission. This is so convenient and so easy to get around the map with, so highly recommend this one. Only if you have a ton of money though, because it is one of the most expensive things you can buy in the game. This next one is going to be another motorcycle, but it's such a different type of bike than the Oppressor Mark II. For one thing, it's actually a land vehicle, and I consider it to be the best motorcycle in the entire game, the HSW upgraded Hakiii drag. Unfortunately, you can't really do any wheelies with this thing, so it's not the greatest stunting motorcycle, but it has one of the fastest top speeds in the entire game. It's actually such a fast vehicle, faster than a lot of planes as well, as you can see in this gameplay. This is also my go-to vehicle for completing HSW time trials, so I think I already completed the one this week, but if you have an HSW time trial, this is the #1 vehicle I would recommend to complete that, and that's gonna get you over $250,000 every single week in just about 2 or 3 minutes. This bike is just elite for getting around the map and completing time trials. That's the main highlight with this one. I mean, acceleration and top speed is actually ridiculous. The only other faster top speed vehicle is going to be later on in the video, but the Hakiii drag is definitely a must. And so let's move on to the fastest top speed vehicle in the entire game at the moment, which is the Banshee GTS. Also, of course, make sure to upgrade this thing into HSW. So this holds the fastest top speed in the entire game out of any land vehicle. The customization is great. I really like the look of this vehicle, and overall, relative to the top speed, it has some decent handling. Definitely not as good traction as, let's say, the Hakiii drag. I mean, that's literally like glued to the ground, but it's relatively controllable for having such a fast top speed. There's a lot of fast vehicles in the game that just become really slippery and uncontrollable once you start going fast with them, but this one's actually relatively decent. Obviously, you want to have the fastest top speed vehicle in the game at the moment. Great for time trials, great for racing, and whatever you need a fast vehicle for, which is a lot of things in this game. Next up is going to be another air vehicle that's directly connected to another vehicle on this list, so we'll make this kind of like a 2-in-1. It's going to be the Sparrow helicopter along with the Kosatka submarine, one of the best duos in the entire game. Sure, the Kosatka is also a business, but I definitely still consider it some sort of vehicle. So the Kosatka holding the Cayo Perico heist, the best paying heist in the game, so that's kind of like a must-have property slash vehicle you should be owning. And the Sparrow is a really nice add-on on to the Kosatka. It's super convenient. Along with the Oppressor Mark II, I would say it's one of the biggest go-to vehicles for online players to get around the map or do setup missions for the Cayo Perico heist. They just go together really well, and both vehicles are definitely necessary to become established in this game. Unlike the Oppressor Mark II, the Sparrow has unlimited missiles, so you don't have to worry about running out of them, which is actually very nice. It's also the #1 fastest helicopter in the entire game. Just by looking at it, you can probably tell it's really small and lightweight, and doesn't matter where you are on the map, you can literally call this thing in from like anywhere. So just go in the interaction menu, service vehicles, Kosatka, and just call it in right here, the second option. It's got some defensive capabilities like flare countermeasures, so pressing right on the D-pad, if someone locks onto you, you definitely want to use those. Probably forgot to mention, but the Oppressor Mark II also has these flare countermeasures. I will say though, overall the missile tracking is much better on the Sparrow, so the missiles on the Oppressor Mark II are really inaccurate, especially after the nerfs. If someone's PvPing Oppressor Mark II against the Sparrow, I really don't know who would win that gunfight. It's definitely going to be close. The Ocelot Virtue is truly a rarity in GTA Online because of the fact you can get it for absolutely free instead of spending like $2.2 million buying this thing. So all you need to do to get it for free is complete the first dose and the last dose setups, or missions I should say. So you would go to the R icon in Sandy Shores and continue from there, starting them at the Freak Shop properties. So the Virtue, technically I would consider a budget option, but it's got a Monty tech, so no weaponized vehicles can lock onto you with homing missiles. So it's a really safe vehicle to use, plus it's very fast. It's got one of the best accelerations. Let's actually take out this little money truck right here, throw a little sticky bomb on the back. Let me collect whatever this is. Let's go, 25,000. And so for random, I would say side quests like that, the Virtue is a really good vehicle. I would say it competes with the weaponized Ignis for being one of the best overall supercars in the game. Sure, it's not technically weaponized like the weaponized Ignis, but it's definitely a lot better than the Ignis defensively because the weaponized Ignis doesn't have a Monty tech and the Virtue does. So if you're looking for a safer option, go with the Virtue. If you're looking for something a bit more hostile and for attacking purposes, go with the weaponized Ignis. One of the coolest additions in recent years to GTA Online is definitely the Titan 250D. Basically a way better version of the regular Titan. The regular Titan really just can't do anything and it's extremely slow. So Rockstar basically said, let's make a way better version of this one so it's not that boring. That is basically the Titan 250D. So it comes with a really cool gun camera that has 3 weapons if you're the passenger of this thing, but if you're using it solo like me right now, you can only use one of the 3 weapons, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it's not too bad. Each of the weapons has different reload times, ranges, and magazine sizes. We can hold right D-pad to access the gun camera, and then as you can see, literally one shot is gonna blow up the majority of vehicles in GTA Online. Super overpowered, especially if you have a friend as the pilot. You can actually use all of the different weapons and just navigate through them so you can constantly fire without having to wait for the reload like I'm doing right now. I would definitely say it's much better to use with a friend, but you can still use it relatively well as a solo player, so it's really up to you. I mean, look how much chaos we're causing right now. Every single shot is blowing up whatever vehicle we target. Absolutely love the Titan 250D, highly recommend it. It also has flare countermeasures just like some other vehicles. Compared to the Titan 250D, a much better navigating aircraft would be the F160 Ray. It's as good as you're gonna get for a type of modern jet like this one, and it's just much faster, either horizontal mode, which is basically like plane mode, or vertical mode, which makes it act like a helicopter kind of. It's equipped with the classic explosive machine gun, which is actually very fun to use. It's similar to the weapon we just used with the Titan 250D, and of course your homing missiles. And yes, it has much better traction. Did I just say traction? I meant tracking, because this is not a freaking land vehicle. What in the world did the aircraft just do right there? It's definitely much better for dogfights and overall PvP fights than, let's say, the Sparrow helicopter or the Oppressor Mark II. My favorite feature with this one has to be stealth mode. So if you hold right on the D-pad, you can actually go in stealth mode, and then you're gonna see your marker is blinking, and that's how you know you're completely off the radar for everybody in the session. So you can literally turn it on and off whenever you want, which is awesome. So let's press right D-pad. Now we stopped blinking on the map and we are back on the radar and we can use weapons again. So as long as you're in stealth mode, you cannot use any weapons, which makes sense. Let's switch to vertical mode so we can safely land next to the garment factory that's going to have the next vehicle, the Terabyte. So the Terabyte actually got so many cool upgrades with the latest update. At its usual parking spot, you can get the Bureau Tech options, options like the collectible scanner, silent running, missile lock-on jammer, and the master control terminal inside. This one's basically a Monty tech, so it's the missile lock-on jammer that you can also put on the Virtue. Collectible scanner is just going to help you highlight some collectibles that you haven't gotten yet, and the master control terminal is the same upgrade inside of the arcade, just inside of this vehicle. So those options are amazing, but also there is pretty much like a mini business inside of this vehicle, kind of like we have with the Kosaka and some other vehicles we didn't talk about. I personally like to go up to this thing and just refill my businesses, for example like the nightclub. It's really convenient. You don't actually have to go and manually do all this inside of each business. You could just do this from one screen. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you're new to the channel for more awesome videos like these that you don't want to miss, and feel free to keep watching and click the video on the screen right now. I hope you all enjoy that one, and peace.